Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day episode number 23 for Thursday, September the 24th, 2008. Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, the daily video blog where I review a movie 7 days a week. My name is Leland Brunger and thank you very much for joining me. I'm continuing my Robert Downey Jr. kick, and the movie I'm going to talk about today is The Singing Detective. This movie is based on a 1986 BBC miniseries of the same name. This movie is directed by Keith Gordon and the screenplay is by Dennis Potter. This movie stars Robert Downey Jr., Robin Wright Penn, Mel Gibson, Katie Holmes, Adrienne Brody, and Carla Gugino. Robert Downey Jr. in this movie plays an author who comes down with a horrific skin disorder that makes it painful for him to do anything at all, to talk, to move. He's basically a prisoner within his own body. This movie takes place while he is in the hospital. He refuses any sort of pain medication and antidepressants, and so he comes in and out of these hallucinations. And his hallucinations are either of people around him, like the doctors and people who come to visit him, singing and dancing, or he goes in and out of his own personal history and his first novel, which is called The Singing Detective. And in that story, it's kind of a noir detective story. I've done a lot of noir lately. I'm really surprised. I didn't mean to. And Robert Downey Jr. in that plays the detective who's like a singer in a band, and so there's lots of musical numbers in this movie, but it is not a musical. Don't think it is. This movie is kind of about Robert Downey Jr.'s character dealing with his inner demons from his past, how he feels about women, through these hallucinations, and he's also having a number of psychotherapy sessions with a doctor who was played pretty brilliantly by Mel Gibson. In the movie, Mel Gibson he's bald and he has these really thick Coke bottle glasses. Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic in this movie. I have yet to see a movie where I didn't like Robert Downey Jr. I will pretty much watch him in anything. When he's in the hospital with a skin disorder, it's incredibly painful for him to even talk. And it's pretty amazing how angry he seems without hardly even moving his mouth. It was really quite fun to see him do that. However, his performance in the noir story as the singing detective is a blast. You can see him having a lot of fun lip-syncing these songs, and he really walks a fine line between parody and kind of tribute. He's really playing kind of a Humphrey Bogart type role, and he does it very well. Mel Gibson is also in this film, and I haven't really watched a Mel Gibson movie in quite a while, and I loved him in this movie. It was really refreshing to see him play kind of a character role instead of characters he always plays. He's always played kind of a handsome guy, but in this film he's balding, he's short, he wears sandals and socks a lot of the movie. Very funny. I was kind of surprised that this movie had a lot of humor in it, because it did deal with a lot of pretty serious tones. This film, like I said, bounces back and forth between reality and kind of surreal fantasy and musical numbers, and I don't usually like that in movies. I kind of like, if you're gonna do one, do it, don't just pick one. But I think in this film, it worked really well. I was really surprised. I don't really like when films deal with heavy subjects and then in the next scene kind of expect me to kind of giggle at something, but I think the cast in this film is really strong, and that's one of the reasons it works. Robert Downey Jr. is such a revelation for me as of lately. He's fantastic, and he really sells both sides of the coin in this film, and I think it owes a lot to him. I think the other half is because of the directing and the screenplay. They do deal with a lot of really serious subjects in this film, and there's some really dark moments, and I think it worked because they don't make light of those subjects. There's some kind of disturbing imagery in this movie, but it's not like, haha, look how funny that was. It was like, there's this scene, and then in the next scene, there's just a musical number. I don't know why it worked well for me in this film, but it did, so I'm not going to question it, because I really did enjoy it. If people do see this movie, don't go into it expecting a kind of structured 3 or 4 act film, because it's not that. It's a character study, and it's not even episodic, but it's just kind of a number of scenes after another, and I think that this movie will be very frustrating to some people. I've been on the IMDb message boards and on Netflix, and a lot of people really don't like this movie, and I was I was kind of ready going into this knowing it was going to be something very different, but I ended up really liking it. So I think if you're willing to go with it, I think there's a really great movie here. I give this a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. If you're looking something, if you're in the mood for something surreal and different, then this movie is definitely something you should check out. If you guys are liking my reviews, thank you very much for watching. If you like them, subscribe. If you have any suggestions on films you'd like to see me review, leave them in the comment box. I don't know what I'm going to see on Friday. I know that Bangkok Dangerous is coming out. I don't really want to see it. I'll be reviewing something on Saturday. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.